Good morning. It is about a little bit after 5:30 on this Wednesday morning, May the can't remember what day it is anymore. May the 14th, I think it is. 2014. This is my second podcast for the soccer team. I think I think the name I gave this a couple weeks ago was. It's too early to even remember the name of the name of the podcast, but we'll get around to it. I'll try to remember what it was later on. Not that it matters. Anyway, wanted to take this opportunity. I'm going to try and keep this down to about 7 minutes or so. I think probably about 13 minutes. The last time was a little much to watch. You don't want to hear somebody ramble on and on and on and on and on, right? So. Today we're going to try and go about 7 minutes, and today's podcast, the topic is going to be leadership. It has many different qualities. Leadership does. You don't have to be, when you watch TV, when you watch ESPN, you watch EPL, and you see people screaming at each other, getting each other's faces, trying to pump each other up. That's not the only type of leadership you can display. Leadership can come in. You can show leadership in so many different ways, through your toughness, through your work ethic, which a lot of those, oddly enough, go hand in hand. And sometimes you can be just that good of a speaker and make somebody want to run through a brick wall. Some people that come to mind when I think about leaders in our history or in sports that I just love hearing talk. Martin Luther King gave some great speeches. I'm going to sound like a history nerd. Martin Luther King always gave great speeches, and his last one, oddly enough, is one that makes you just want to run through a brick wall. Ray Lewis, obviously, he's on ESPN about 24/7 giving some kind of different speech, so he must be pretty good as well with those things. But you don't see that many people that that's a special quality in a leader, being able to do that. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the different kind of leaders, and basically what I'm going to try and do is I want to challenge you as a member of this soccer team to decide. You need to figure out what kind of leadership qualities you have. Everybody has leadership qualities. Everybody, there's no such thing as bad leadership. The only bad leadership is a situation where there's no leadership at all. But I don't believe there's ever such thing as somebody being a bad leader. You hear about coaches in college sports, pro sports, over in in the EPL, MLS, that are getting fired or resigning all the time. In a lot of cases, the media will use the term fired, but it's very much not like that. A lot of times these coaches know that the end of their time is coming. And so when you see a coach that tends to, you're like, why did he get fired? He probably kept doing a good job so he can make sure to get his next opportunity, because sometimes it just doesn't work out. So a lot of these people that you see struggle to stay at one job for so many years are also the ones that they're good leaders in the home. They might be good leaders in the workplace with their family and everything, and even amongst players, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. It's not a good mix, not a good fit. So I truly believe that anybody who gets into a coaching position has some kind of leadership quality. I like to think of myself as having some leadership qualities. Am I the biggest guy in the world? Absolutely not. I don't have a booming voice, or even a voice really that catches anybody's attention. It's just it's a very bland voice, I'm noticing. So in a lot of ways, I'm not really one to. I don't have a voice that people have fun listening to. So how am I going to be a leader? How can someone like me be a leader? Well, when I was in high school, I tried to be that rah-rah guy and everything, and it's difficult, Again, had kind of a bland voice and everything. I mean, so I decided, around my senior year, I decided just do it with the work ethic, do it with do it with heart, do it with effort, and other people will notice. And a lot of people did notice. And to this day, you still get a lot of pats on the back for giving that kind of effort. Which, okay, it was. It was good. It was good to give that kind of effort, we won. We won a lot of games because of it. I hope so, at least. Ask yourself. You got to challenge yourself. What kind of leader do you want to be this year on the soccer team? Everybody's got to display some kind of leadership skills this year on the soccer team, just as much as a dribbling skill. You got to ask yourself: are you the one? If you get up there and try and give a rah type speech before the game, is anybody going to listen? That's a rare quality in a person. Those are few and far in between. And when they are able to do it, you tend to know it. That hey, this guy's the one that needs to be talking. We've got some kids like that on our team, but I think for the most part, we're going to have a lot of guys that just need to show leadership through their effort, through their work ethic, being the first one to practice, maybe being the toughest guy on the team. Show leadership by not worrying about the stats. Show leadership by accepting criticism from the coaches. Show leadership by handling compliments well. Handling praise. It's all those. Anytime you can do those things, handle praise well, handle constructive criticism, you are displaying you're displaying leadership. I like to think back to my first. I'm going to tell this story and then we'll stop. So actually, probably more like 8 minutes. Sorry. I like to think back to my time at my first coaching job was at Warren East High School down in Bowling Green while I was down in college at Western. We were not a very skilled team. This team, the 3 years I was there, won games with their effort, with their work ethic, and sprinkled in there, we had a few guys that that were great motivators for the team. They were able to use, their voices were ones that caught. Now they had a lot of Southern accents, so we had a couple of boys in my second year there at East. We called them the Bash Brothers, Cody and Wes. They both played outside fullback, and Westwood had a hockey player's mentality where he was legendary for putting people on their butt in scrimmages and in games, and everybody rallied around that. Cody brought 125% effort every night at practice, game, didn't matter, and he was known for when I'd say jogging in to huddle to break practice or to end practice, everybody be walking and Cody be like, "Hey, come on!" And people rallied around that, and the kids rallied around that, and we were able to. I think in large part because of those guys, we were able to win a few games that year and have a pretty successful season. Another kid on that team, probably one of the top 3 players I've coached in the last 10 years. His name was Marcus, and the kid was a leader, not because he wasn't a rah-rah type guy and everything. Number one, because he was most games we played in those years, he was the best player on the field. You can put him in any position, he was going to find a way to be the best player on the field. His skill, his work ethic made him that way. And Marcus was a good kid. He never, he wasn't a rah-rah guy. He just came out there and led by example. There was one practice that he showed up, and his mom came out later on and was concerned about him. And I had to ask why, and she said because he got his wisdom teeth taken out earlier in the day, and he had decided he'd gotten up out of bed to come to practice. He'd already been excused from it by me, and he was still out there, and he was playing well. So that was, scary. I didn't know that. I didn't know that he was in such sensitive shape. But at the same time, Marcus was a man about it. And there was another kid named Colton. Burned his face up on a gas grill at home, and sat out for about a week or so of practice. He got cleared by the doctor as soon as he was out there. He came out with a mask, and it was it was pretty cool to this day to come out there and see him with that on and still give 110%. That's leadership. That is leadership. And Colton was also one of those guys that was gonna talk as well. And so anytime you can have a team full of those kind of displays a variety of leadership qualities, you've got a chance for success. You've got a chance to improve. So I want you to think about that over the next basically over the next few months, what kind of leadership qualities do you have, and what kind of leader do you want to be on this team? If you think you can be a rah-rah guy and everything and rally the troops, then by all means try. But I think for the most part, start off with the effort, start off with the work ethic, and then when you see people struggling to give the same effort that you feel like you're giving, when you see people struggle because they're not having a good practice or anything, ask yourself what kind of leader you want to be in that situation. You're going to be a guy that puts that kid down, or you're going to be a guy that pats him on the back. All right. The sooner we can figure out what kind of leaders we want to be and develop an identity individually, I think we're going to be in position to surprise some people this year. Okay. Anyway, I'll try and put another one of these up next week, and let's close out the school year strong. This was fun this morning. We're almost at 11 minutes, so I lied a little bit. But anyway, I feel like this was some effective discussion. So come see me in room 232 if you got any questions. Thanks a lot. Let's have a good practice this week. Thanks.